Guys, welcome back to an episode of the Murph and Mitise show. A special episode, another special episode.
One. Back to back.
Back-to-back special episodes. Celeste Dixon, you may have seen it on the television, showing Ninja Warrior.
Yeah.
You got the Aerial Ninja, Celeste, Team Celeste show here. I got a feeling this one's going to be epic. I got a feeling this is going to be epic.
Stay tuned, yeah.
Too many things. Stay tuned. Let's get to it.
Done.
Let's get to it.
I've got a big fat drum, I've got a big fat drum, pounding so bad.
Okay.
So you've basically got your local basketball,
Yeah.
and you've got your pro basketball.
Yeah.
You've got two streams, but even in basketball, you've got like 3 different streams here.
Yes.
You've got your local, you've got your is it state? Like,
Let's say yes. Premier League, maybe.
like before you get to this.
Premier League.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've got 3 streams.
Me and you were one with basketball. Yeah, Murph's the guy. So yeah, 3 streams.
But you know what I mean. Whereas in gymnastics, there's 2 streams.
So like a social and then like a professional.
Yeah.
Okay.
And whereas in the States, a lot of people get like, UCLA is massive over in the States, which is a university gymnastics team.
Okay.
But they do theirs through scholarship and academic scholarship. And gymnasts get really good through there because they've got the pathway to do a massive training regime through uni.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like a backfall for all the elite gymnasts. They can then continue their career but not be at that standard. They're at this standard, and then there's still this standard.
Yes.
It's created that middle standard in between, and somewhere for you to go before you actually retire.
Exactly.
Whereas when I retired, that was it.
Done. And I want to talk about this because we talk about the American system a lot because of that. This is the collegiate level, you know, for coaching as well. Like for us, for example, you're either elite or you're average.
Yeah.
You know.
There's no in between.
There's no in between. There's nowhere to go. Okay, cool. Well, you're not quite here, but you're definitely not here.
Yeah.
And it's interesting to see like one of my ideas that I want to do with what I want to do is basically take that system and bring it to Australia.
Well, I know they've like kind of started. There is, like they call it uni gym here, but it's not. It's a recreational thing still. It's not a competing thing. It's not a continuing pathway. It's not encouraging you to go to uni. I never went to uni.
Is there like a study available in that? No.
No. You do it on the side as a sport, but you can't get supported to do it. You have to pay extra to.
That's crazy.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, they get it at a discounted rate and whatever, but there's not that support system. I don't know whether it's in other states and just not here, but there's not that support system for someone to sort of fall back as an athlete and go, I still want to train, but it doesn't mean I want to train 45 hours a week.
Yeah.
I want to
What do most gymnasts do then? When they retire? That's it, they're done?
Yeah.
Wow. How many people would you know that have done that?
Through my gym?
Mm-hmm. But it's like interview now, like.
All of them?
Really?
There's probably been maybe 3 elite sort of gymnastics field people who've gone on to do 3 who've gone on to do Cirque du Soleil, and the rest have all retired and.
Do they get into coaching? Do they get into teaching?
A lot of them
or do they just lose it?
A lot of the boys that I know were like at the gym in my time. Sam Offord's a physio. Brad Harrison and Johnny, and I think one of the boys, they're paramedics. So they've all gotten into sport sort of related because they can understand what the body's doing.
Yeah.
A lot
still
like.
not. Wow. How, like, it's.
There's nothing, like some have gone into coaching part-time for like a year or 2 years, but because it doesn't pay enough.
That was my next question.
It is the shittest pay you ever get.
How do you then? So you have to get like a conventional job to supplement.
Yeah, and because the hours for training, like if I was to coach, I'd have to be there from 7 till 10:30
in the morning.
In the morning.
Okay.
And then from 3 till 6. So you can't get a conventional job in between. No.
Jesus.
And to be employed full time within South Australia, again, I don't know about other states. There are a lot bigger, more funding in Victoria for gymnastics.
Yeah.
But within Adelaide, there's nothing.
Is there a reason for that?
The government.
Is there a reason over there though? Is there more potential over there?
There's more gyms.
Okay.
and there's more government funding in terms of, we're going to give this gym $20,000 to upgrade their equipment.
Yeah.
We don't get that.
Do people apply?
You have to apply for it, and I know every year GSA applies for it and they don't get it.
Wow.
There is, I know last year or maybe earlier this year, there was this massive thing going around. There was a $20,000 grant that the government was giving out, but I'm not sure what it was for.
Sport or for? Okay.
It was for a gym, but only one club got it. And I don't know who got it, and I don't know what the proceed was to apply for it, because I tagged a few people who own gyms, and I'm like, 20 grand, you need that 20 grand.
Yeah. Like, get it. Wow.
Yeah.
And you don't know who got it?
I have no idea.
No one like comes out and says,
Maybe it's probably written somewhere.
God, that's great. So who would be the big ones here? Or so bigger gymnastics gyms?
Tea Tree Gully.
Okay.
In terms of clubs, Tea Tree Gully and Corona.
Where's Corona?
At Oaklands Park.
Yeah. Okay.
So you've got 2 gyms at Oaklands Park, which is where I spent my entire life.
Yeah.
The one at the front in the YMCA is GSA, or used to be SASI.
Okay.
That's like the elite stream.
Yep.
And then the one at the back of the car park is clubs. That's
Okay.
Corona. But that club, Corona, is community funded.
Okay.
So
So as soon as that sort of dries out.
Yeah.
Shit.
the coaches are paid nothing. They all volunteer.
And they'll be there those hours you mentioned before.
Nah, they're probably there from. They'd probably do like a kinder gym class at maybe 4. They'd start classes at 4 until
Yep.
9 o'clock.
What do you see being the future then of it?
Nothing.
Just fading to nothing.
Yeah.
Would you ever
Because
open a
there's no
gym?
funding. I want to, but it would have to be a combination of what I want to teach.
Which would be what?
Well, I want to go where the market is, which is, I would love to have a gym that has kinder gym gymnastics, like muck around gymnastics to learn how to flip, how to jump, body shape, position, all of that sort of stuff, but only recreational. I would never do it for competing. And it would only be like strength and conditioning, handstands and stuff for adults, all of that main sort of
almost like foundation work.
gymnastics foundations. Yep, is a good way of putting it. Then I'd want pole dancing and aerial, all in the same place. So like circus stuff as well. CrossFit to make the market for the money that you're gonna lose doing everything else.
Yeah.
And a ninja gym,
What would you put in a ninja gym?
an obstacle course.
Okay. That sounds like a huge gym.
There's one over in Perth called Ninja Academy, which is close to what I would do. The only thing they don't offer is aerial and pole.
Okay. Are they succeeding? Like, are they making money? Because I think the big thing is, obviously, yes, you want to go to the markets, right?
Yes and no, but I think that's their biggest problem. Because they don't have, like, classes that regular people go to.
Okay.
So, like, if you had a spin class or if you had...
Okay.
If you had stuff like that you're guaranteed to make your money, you can afford to have the rest.
And so you're looking at almost like looking at promoting it as like a regular gym with this aspect, but this is the aspect you really want to push.
Yep. I'd love to do it. Love to.
Have you like thought about it?
Don't have the money.
Have you thought about how to get the money?
Investors, but they'd have to be Asian. They're the only people with that sort of money. It would cost, for insurance alone, you'd be looking at maybe $600,000 a year.
Fuck, that much.
It's
Wow.
because of all the different varying
Yeah.
things. But now we might be on to maybe, even though it's shit for me, but it's really good in the same instance. Ninja and parkour have now fallen under the Federation of Gymnastics
Okay.
as of last week.
Okay.
So the insurance is basically you purchase gymnastics insurance, you're covered for that.
Okay.
So it might drop the price, possibly.
Yeah.
But you still got to look at bounce and latitude and everything like that, and how many times they've been sued by having a waiver signed. It take one person to injure themselves,
Well,
and you're
exactly.
fucked.
And that's the thing with this. Like, I've had clients injure themselves at
Yeah.
those places, but not suing, not to that point.
No, I know,
You
but like it takes one person to get their nose put out of joint, and
Exactly.
you're screwed.
And the thing is, in that regard, you're trying to hit everybody.
Yeah.
You're trying to reach mass market, so you're going to put people out of
And I think like even to I'm not sure how much rent would be in terms of the building, but you would need something the size of what's the gym? Pasadena Basketball Stadium. Have you ever been there?
No.
It
Like
would,
this size or bigger?
oh, it's not this big.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe 3 basketball courts across,
Mm-hmm. Like lengthwise or width?
width.
Yep.
Width and length. So like
Okay, so like that there.
3,
Yep.
and maybe another half of the 3
Mm-hmm.
down this slide. That's how big it would have to be. Like it would have to be massive. It would have to be a warehouse. But then you're also thinking, because you want to offer aerial and ninja,
Yeah.
you need height
Yeah.
and you need trussing.
Yeah.
Trussing's not cheap.
No.
Crash mats have to be 40 mil thick, or 40 centimetres
Yeah.
for a metre
It's
and
a
a half
huge
drop.
investment.
It's a massive investment. Like I know that the one over in Perth, their dad, the guys who own it together,
Mm.
their dad is some massive lawyer, and he initially put up the first year's rent for this massive shed.
Okay.
Now they've got basically what I want. They just need to add the aerials,
Yeah.
and it's unreal. The
Where,
facility.
like, where is that in Perth?
Scarborough.
South.
Oh God, I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I get an Uber.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. All right. Yeah. I think the question that is like, yes, outwardly you get the investment and you see, oh, this gym is amazing.
And you have to make it doable for children,
Exactly.
because that's where the money is.
Exactly.
As much as I fucking hate them, you would have to have.
Please talk freely. Talk freely.
I hate children.
How big is the children's market then?
Massive.
Mm.
Look at Bounce. Look at Latitude.
Mhm.
$20 a pop.
Mhm. Do you see them lasting?
Yes.
Why?
Physical activity. Parents want them off their iPhone.
Mhm. Do you see them lasting if they start getting more instances of injuries?
No. Well, yes. Yes. But probably it would just become more strict in
Mhm.
terms of no backflips, no this, no that. So instructors and the people watching would have to be
Yeah.
more alert of what's going on.
So I don't see them lasting. I know Bounce signed like an 80-year lease or some shit, or a 50-year lease for that building because they built the building.
So long as they, so like Latitude as of Thursday last week, opened a ninja park section. They have to
Okay.
keep moving and evolving with the
Yeah,
time
yeah.
of what's current, what's new, what kids want to do, what they're
Mhm.
seeing on TV, that's what they want to do.
What happens if Ninja on TV just stops?
People still do obstacle racing. True Grit and that
True.
will be around for ages.
The True Grit, when you watch True Grit, or when you think of True Grit, it's outdoors.
Yep.
And I think that's the distinction. People watching it, if people watch on TV and say, oh, cool, like Ninja, I can
All
do that in a gym.
All the obstacles are very similar, and
They are very
especially
similar.
for the one that they do, it's like enduro or.
No, I've done Tough Mudder. and I
Okay,
did
so
True Grit
similar.
once.
There's like. I'm not sure what the difference is between them, but I know that there's Spartan, Enduro, OCR, which is classed as different.
I've never heard of it.
Obstacle course racing. It's
Okay,
like
okay.
legitimately they have a world league.
Okay.
Anything that involves running, I'm out.
Yep. That's like us. That's like us.
Well, I
you
hate
see Murphy
cardio.
walks in, it's exactly the same. Okay.
Hate
Yeah.
cardio. All of that I see lasting because
Okay.
that's what adults like.
I don't know. I'll push back. I don't see them lasting. I think they're very fatty.
I think they are fatty, but there's a market there at the moment and it will be around for at least 15 years.
Okay.
That's enough to make a profitable business.
Of course.
After the first 3 years is when you start making your profit.
And if you're an early adopter, you get in, build it, sell it.
And if you market it at the right time,
Mm-hmm.
you would make a hell of a lot of money within 3 months.
Mm.
To pay off, not to pay off most of the debt, but to keep your funds at level.
Yeah.
And then maybe after, then you might halving what you're going to pay.
Yeah. Because that's what I think about with Bounce. I got friends that used to work at Bounce, manage Bounce, whatever. And initially, when you first went there, like their first opening, it was huge, like massive. All the time people were in there. And then you go back to like, I say dead times. There's 10 weeks of the school year, you go back 9 to 5, no one there.
Mm-hmm.
No one there.
But then you think about the cost.
True.
Hello.
Hey man.
How's it going?
We're just chatting about bounce and the viability.
Ah, how are you? Adam.
Celeste.
Murph.
No, I think in terms of that, I think that's where cost plays a massive part.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think if you're charging, and this is what sucks as a parent, and I know.
Are you a parent?
No.
What you said as a parent? I wasn't sure.
As a parent, it's what sucked. But I
Yeah.
know my sister's got 3 kids.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm going to take them out, I need to have $100 cash.
No, exactly. Yeah. I wasn't sure where you wanted to set yours up. Wasn't sure where you wanted to set yours up. Yeah. Didn't tell you.
Doesn't
Thanks for
bother me.
ruining it. I don't know
It
where.
won't make any difference to me.
Good. And I wasn't sure because. Now, do you want to sit here or are you comfortable there?
Okay, whatever.
What do you reckon was
Let's
best?
not let Murph ruin the mood. Which is...
Murph's already on the mood.
Oh, sorry.
No, I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued because I've been thinking about this.
I think it will, but I think maybe at times.
How far? Like, am I in shop? Half ahead. I feel like I'm gonna lean back a lot in this conversation. I'm so excited.
I think companies like Bounce need to look at their price.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, I know that insurance and
Mhm.
instruction and to have people there is expensive,
Mm-hmm.
but they need to look at their profit margin.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I think their biggest downfall is. You want kids to want to go there, make it cheaper. Like it
We
doesn't.
want the parents to bring kids and yeah.
Exactly. And you want the kids to actually enjoy the physical activity rather than, do you want to go to Bounce? Okay,
Mhm.
let's take you today.
Yeah.
Like, you want the kids to go, oh mum, I want to do physical activity. You don't want them to go, oh, how about we're going to Bounce today?
How do you drive that?
Cheaper.
Because it's easy. So I've got friends of
Cheaper,
mine.
take them more often. They'll want to go more often.
True. That's the kids.
Yeah.
How do you get the parents to be like, take them?
The
That's
parents
the
to
thing.
take them or the parents to actually participate?
No. Don't about to participation at the moment. Because remember, we said the kids market is a big market, right?
Yeah.
So I've got friends of mine. One set of friends have kids who will actively. Do you want to stop the doors?
You're just trying to keep me out of the damn camera.
Get out the camera, man. We chatting. Like, I haven't even started the official show yet. I'm not going to. We're just going to chat, then I'm going to stop it, then I'm going to start the show. We're talking fucking business right now.
I've got a bottle of pepper jack in here. We can bring that out.
Don't even. That's a
Glass of
great
wine.
Shiraz. Imagine
It's
that.
a
Let
no,
me
I'm
see.
looking forward to it.
You want. Okay, forget the parents, the kids at the market, right?
Mhm.
But the people, the friends that I have, would actively take the kids back. Oh, cool! Look, there's some activities. Take them out, Botanic Garden, zoo, bounce, wherever. They'll invest in them. A lot of my friends and a lot of people I know with kids won't. They'll give them the iPad or they'll say go play outside or whatever. They don't actually invest in that. And so, first of all, there's a time investment. Okay, you live down south, I live up north. I'm going to be like, do I want to go to Richmond and take the kids, or can I just be like, hey, go run outside? You know, it's all well and good, I think, when the TV's on, which is what they're doing in front of screens anyway.
Yeah.
Watching TV, saying, oh, that looks like fun, we'll go there once. Kids are rather than on the game. You know what I mean? Like, rather than on the gaming or their iPads, whatever.
This is where bad parenting falls into play.
Oh, that's bad parenting.
This is going to continue on the last controversy.
Oh, they're going to fucking.
Donald, we should
we haven't-
I'm really sorry, but I look at the kids of today. Now, I've visited so many schools in the past
Mhm.
2 years. I did the Premier's Be Active Challenge.
Yes.
I was an ambassador for that, and the amount of kids that I would walk in to the school and go, okay, so who plays a sport? 90% of them put their hand up.
90?
A lot of them, because it's all school orientated.
Mhm.
Yeah.
How many times do you play sport outside of school? 50%. There was one particular school.
Don't name names. Don't name names.
Oh, okay. There was one particular school. It was the last school I visited this year.
Mhm.
It was unbelievable.
As in
Never
positive. Okay.
I have never been to a school where I was like, I'm out of depth.
Really?
I was like, and they were only primary school students. I don't
Okay.
really do many high schools because it's not where the market is.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we should name that school. Like, give them something.
If they're positive school, name the
It
school.
was,
I was going to say, but negative, we don't really hate on any schools in the
Let's
show.
not do that just yet. We're not there yet.
I cannot remember. I think I know what it is, but I'm not going to say it because it might be wrong.
Can you give us a region?
It's near Aberfoyle Park.
Okay.
Amazing.
We could start naming schools in a minute.
Like, amazing. Like, I literally said, who plays a sport? All of them put their hand up. How many times do you play a sport? 1 to 2 times a week or more than 2? 80% of them more than 2 times a week. How many sports do you play? Cricket, softball, football, soccer. 4 sports for 1 kid. I'm like, how do you fit all that in? Oh, well, this day I do this and this day I do that. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, look, because my whole thing during the school visits was, how many times do your parents exercise a week? Because it's like a pattern. If they see their parents only exercising never, then they're going to be sitting there. I'm not going inside.
But also, if the parents don't exercise, then they're less likely to get the kids out to play with them.
Exactly.
You know, like my mates would take their kids out to the games with it. Come watch Dad play soccer. Come watch Dad play basketball.
Yeah.
I don't want to look at you doing that, but you know what I mean?
Well, like, my challenge to them was, I gave them a few challenges to take home and see if their parents could do it.
Okay.
Which was very interesting.
What's the challenges? I got it.
Yeah.
There was a few. There was like a mobility thing. Can you squat down all the way and keep your heels on the floor?
Can you?
No.
There you go.
I can.
So work on it.
Yeah, we know you can. You do it regularly.
But then you also got to think, it's a matter of practice. I bet you if you tried it like 3 times a week, 5 times every time you did it 3 times, I bet you by the end of 2 weeks you'd be down to the floor.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of practice and to keep doing it. That was one. 10 push-ups was the other one. 10 sit-ups was the other one. And like a pistol squat.
Yep.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Just take your toes out. A pistol squat, because even some of the kids couldn't do it. So then they could encourage both their parents to do it at the same time.
Do you follow up?
Sometimes.
Okay.
Claire?
St. Clair.
St. Clair.
Is that Aberfoyle Park?
I can't even think where Aberfoyle Park is.
I'm never going to get it. I thought Aberfoyle Park was away from St. Clair, but
Maybe I'm just thinking it.
St. Clair's where the new stadium is.
I can't. No.
Near Woodville.
Woodville Road.
Oh,
Not done there?
no.
Okay. Shout out to St. Clair anyway.
Nice gym. Nice gym.
And then the other one was you flipped it. How often do your parents exercise? Or every day? Or 5 times a week? I said, okay, so the next time they go out for a bike ride or a run or do something, go with them. And see how long you last doing what they're doing. So flip it around and make it so that you're both physically active together and actually realise that you can actually be physically active with your kid. You don't have to send them off to do, like, here's $20, go to bounce, or here's $15, go see a movie. Do it together.
Let's go play soccer.
Exactly.
Let's go do this. Yeah.
Do it together. And actually, the more you join the parent and the kid, the more you entice the kid to want to actually do it. And that's the thing with, like, I've got this day coming up for some fundraising. I'm encouraging parents to do it as well, because I want them to be able to realise that they can play with their kid. You don't have to have equipment. Go to the freaking playground and make an obstacle course of what you can. Climb across a monkey bars, jump off of something, time yourself, and then race them. It doesn't cost anything.
Do you lecture to parents, or do you
Both.
talk to parents? What are the responses you get from both then?
Parents are very, oh no, I can't do that. I won't be able to do it. They're very
Not enough
hard.
time, is that?
Close-minded?
more so physically.
Yeah, okay.
Like, I work in a coffee shop and I see parents all day, every day, and the response where I've been has been unbelievable. Like, everyone is so supportive. I've got 2 schools right near me. I've got Goodwood Primary and St. Thomas. I work 50 metres from both.
Shout out Children's Strife.
Nice.
Done my research.
We went to both schools this year as part of Ninja, and it was amazing. And the parents coming, oh, my kid's so excited. They were jumping around the walls and climbing the door frame. My kids climb in the door frame because of you, and I'm like, if they break it, it's not my fault.
Yeah, I didn't do that. I didn't say that.
The biggest reaction I thought was fantastic was the parents were so excited that their kids were doing something because they'd had one person come in and go, you can do this. Because obviously they're not believing in them, so someone else has to. And that's, I think, the same what they need. Like, when I've been trying to sell these tickets for this event, and I'm just like, well, I'm not looking after your kid. You do it. Like, you come and do the obstacle course with them. It's going to be basic. It has to be for a 4-year-old. I'm pretty sure you could.
I'm pretty sure you could do that.
I hope so.
But like, there's no repercussions if you can't. Like, I'm not going to tell you off. If you miss something, you miss something. Who cares? Go and have some friggin' fun.
Would you think that people would see you on TV and be like, I don't want to embarrass myself in front of her?
I think that's what a lot of it is. Like, people, like, I know personally from my clients as well as, I mean, just the general public and humans, they don't want to embarrass them. They don't want to look bad in front of them, especially someone like yourself.
A specialist.
Who is a specialist in their
craft. Like, for example, now, and this only happened on the weekend, I had a group of physios come to my house because I've got a set up in my backyard.
Yeah, we've discussed this. We want to come. Actually, we're discussing it. We actually want to come and try it out.
We'll do a live podcast.
A live podcast.
And make a fool of ourselves.
Oh my God,
the follow-up. If you just invited ourselves over. To go to Celeste's house, someone doesn't know yet.
Everyone's welcome.
Everyone's welcome. We're going to come in, we'll do a live show, and you can take us through.
Well, I had this group of physios come to my house. None of them have any upper body strength apart from one.
You might suffer, man.
There was and because a lot of ninja stuff is all hanging.
Yeah.
The only
I can hang.
Yeah, I might suffer now.
I'll
get more weight to
the only thing that was sort of easy kind of for them when they got over the mentality aspect of it was the wall.
Okay. So you have the full.
I have the full wall.
Like Midoriyama.
No.
Is that the wall?
No, Midoriyama's the rope climb at the end.
Ah! Sorry.
Is it a 10-foot wall? How big?
14 and a half.
14 and a half foot wall.
It's like bigger than the basketball ring.
It's like almost 1.5 basketball rings.
14 and a half.
And that's like a sprint will run up.
Yeah.
But it's not like vertical, it's like a ramp up into vertical.
It's a ramp up to vertical, yeah.
I don't know how to do it.
It's good fun.
I'm going to call it. I reckon
I reckon you'd be able to friggin' stand at the bottom and go one step.
What's your reach? Like my reach would be about.
How tall are you?
8.
6'3".
I had a guy the other day, 6'4". He basically walked up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, stop making it easy.
So DJ Veterans jump.
Do you know how hard I find it?
How tall are you? I haven't stood next to you yet.
I'm short.
Okay.
No, I'm 5'2".
Oh, okay.
I'm 5'2".
Should we get like against the wall?
Yeah, I should bring Majuk up.
Bring Majuk up.
So, well, basically...
You're half a ring.
It's the wall, instead of feet, to give you an idea, is 4.25 metres, right? This year there might be something a little bit bigger.
Okay.
You might see.
Okay.
Can't
talk about any shows that may or may not be occurring.
Okay.
Oh, you can talk about last year and the year before, but not
future
this year.
stuff. Okay, cool.
Yeah. We're going well right now.
So the wall is 4.25 metres.
Okay.
If I literally, the way I mentally work, I'm a very mental person in terms of, if I see how something's done,
yes,
I can usually work out how to do it.
Okay.
But if I have to work it out on my own,
so you're a very visual learner.
Visual learner, or very, even if you tell me how to do it, I can work it out.
Yeah.
But if I have to work out something on my own, I'm like,
okay.
Which
not kinesthetic.
Which is where like actually doing the show is difficult.
Because you're not told what's coming up.
No.
Is it surprising the night, is it? You just rock up and it's like, that's what's in front of me.
Well, you get
Then you get a run through.
You get a walk through.
Walkthrough.
Basically you rock up, you do all the other stuff that you've got to do, and then
which we can't talk about.
Yeah.
No.
You rock up, you do whatever you've got to do, and then they will walk you through the entire course, what you will have, and you see one demonstration. That's it.
Okay.
You're not allowed to touch anything. You're 5-6 meters away from it. You can't measure perspective.
So
nothing.
you can literally just like look at it, like that mirror, like all the calculations.
It would basically be like me showing you an obstacle on a screen and saying, "This is the obstacle you have. Okay, go."
And you watch someone do it once.
And the demonstrator, are they like really good at it?
I was going to say they'd have to be amazing.
Or do they start?
Or do they like design it?
I'm not sure.
Because what if they fuck up?
Yeah. So when they
What
What if that person fucks up and
I've
you're like,
had that,
oh god.
and you do not get a rerun. So if they
What? You know what? I'd fuck up on purpose if I was like, hey, here's how it's done.
Because if they fucked up at a certain point, you go, okay, that bit's hard. I
Yeah.
didn't prepare myself for that spot, right? So
Yeah.
mental notes.
But it's
Or like when
very-
people like slip and fall in the water, like at the beginning, they're running and oh shit.
Be careful with that bit. We're good.
One thing I will definitely say about the show, and everyone comes away from it and says it, and even the people watching, would be two things actually. One, you don't know how big everything is until you were there.
Okay.
Like, I mean, massive.
Okay.
On TV it looks tiny and you think, oh yeah, I can do that, no problem.
No, I still think I can't do it.
No, it's not like that at all. Like, seriously, even I still remember in the first season, and I'm standing there, they called my name, and I'm like, yep.
Are you hype at this part? Are you like, is that crowd going? There's lights on, or are you just kind of like,
I can't hear anything.
okay.
I block it all out.
Yeah.
But the first year was makes me feel sick.
Run us through it.
It makes me feel physically sick. They
prepared
me, and they were like, okay, yep, you're up. And there's all these timing cues and everything. You run up the stairs. There's smoke behind you, and you're like.
Already pumped.
It's 6 flights of stairs you got to get up. I'm kidding.
I don't want to say big, but like.
God damn it, they run a lot.
That's the fall.
I think it's probably, I'd say it's 2.5 meters up.
Okay.
That the platforms are all out there.
Okay.
But you don't take any notice of that. You're like, once you can see everything, it's all at your height, so
okay.
It doesn't make any difference. And I just remember standing there in front of the quintuple steps, and I looked over to
They're the ones that like
the very
just pretend we have no idea.
The very first one is
yeah.
quintuple steps, and there's 5 steps, and you jump across, and that's it.
Yeah.
Your hands aren't allowed to go in certain places.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you can't actually just do whatever you want to get across.
There's rules for every single obstacle.
Okay.
So is it very similar to, like, I'm not sure if you can say this or not, but Big Brother, where they interviewed all these people to come on, and they pick the most interesting one and bring them on because they've got a backstory, or like what's that singing show that's on?
I think
X Factor.
Don't pretend you don't know.
I don't watch TV.
I would probably say it's a bit of both.
Bit of both.
You have to have a package.
Yep.
You have to be a package deal. You can't be really, really good and
like
bad
a supreme athlete and then you can't talk. They still wouldn't take you.
No.
Yeah. But you can't be a brilliant talker but overweight and not strong. Yeah, fair enough.
But then you also got to think that they want aspects of that as well. So, to be honest, you have no idea whether you're going to get in. You have no idea whether you're what they're looking for. You just don't know. You put in your application like everyone else, and then you wait a few months, and then you hear back, and then you've got to go for a physical test.
Yep.
And then whether they like you on that day is, I guess, what they take it from.
What's the physical test?
There's been 3 different ones now.
And you can't talk about them.
Okay.
I can tell you the very first one because they've put it on TV.
Okay.
The first one was, it's basically a 20-minute fitness test. I'd love you to do it.
I'm fucking done at 5.
3.
I did about 6 deadlifts just now. I was like, I am done. What is it?
A 25-minute fitness test.
Okay, what is it?
First one is.
I'll do it.
I will make him do it.
He will do it.
Murph will film.
He'll do it.
Murph will
So,
film.
no chalk.
Okay.
Nothing, right? 5-minute plank on your elbows.
As in like this or like this? Oh yeah.
That.
No drums?
You're not allowed to come down.
Fine.
And you're not allowed to lose form.
Fine.
Okay? Then you have a minute rest.
Yep.
And then you
Good
have.
with that.
We can code that.
Excel.
I'll do that bit.
Excel with that.
Minute rest, and then 5 minutes of chin-up burpees. So you do a push-up, jump to a bar, pull
How
up.
many you gotta get? Or just
Full
continue?
5 minutes.
Done.
1 minute rest.
What cadence?
Is it like
whatever you
a
want.
metric?
Oh, so I can do like one, chin.
Yeah, but you're not, no, you
One,
have to
two.
keep going.
Okay.
Like it's,
What if my cadence is like one every like 10 seconds?
that's fine.
Okay, done.
Slow right down, nice eccentric.
Nice control.
But-
Like look at the bars on the way out.
but-
Check it.
But you also got to think, they're judging you.
Yeah.
So basically,
This guy's not the
no, I'm not kidding. They're judging you.
Uh-huh.
They're basically giving you a score for, are they performing, are they slacking off? They're watching everything. They're watching
You
your
know what I
breathing.
get points for though? I'm just going to jump in here because I
Style
discussed this. No.
Oh.
Style points. Thank you. I'm glad you can pick that up. Style points. No.
I was
Enthusiasm.
going to say flamboyance.
Yeah, but
Enthusiasm.
that's
I
the
get
sort
points for
of,
that.
that's the sort of thing they're looking for.
Yeah.
So they take all of that
Sure.
they take all of that into account.
Okay.
But they want to see how hard you're actually working.
Of
too.
course. Alright, so
Okay,
plank,
so
minute,
Plank,
burpee chin-ups.
a minute, burpee chin-ups, a minute rest,
Mhm.
and then,
Are the minute rest included in the 25 minutes?
yes.
Okay.
Oh, well,
Like is it 5 minutes, then a minute, so 6 minutes? So I'm going
yeah.
Okay.
No, then it's 5.
Okay.
Okay, so it's like 5 minutes exercise, 1 minute rest.
Yeah.
5 minutes exercise, 1 minute rest.
Yeah.
5 minute dead hang, so you're just hanging on the bar.
Okay.
You can re-grip.
On the floor, or just while you're in the air?
No, hanging.
There's no floor. The floor is lava.
Floor is lava.
Yeah, the floor is lava.
Yep.
No chalk, no towel, nothing.
I'm
just
out. See, I'm
hanging.
moist already.
Okay. The
It's
first,
crunchy.
the
Done.
first
Moist
time, the first fitness test that I did, I got to 2 minutes 37.
On the
I'd
hang.
never done it before.
On the hang.
I dropped, but then you got to jump straight back up.
Is there another 5 minutes after that?
No, you just jump up and you keep going for the rest of the
Oh, so it's
5
not like you're
minutes.
disqualified. They just go, okay, she fell at this point.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes. You're not disqualified, but basically the longer you last, the better.
Yeah.
My max dead hang now is 11 minutes.
Oh, we can tell by the hands, they're just muscle.
My hand, like, you know why my hand is moist?
Like
it's actually like,
my hands
got
are
crushed.
almost skinnier than her hands, Celeste's
Yeah.
hands, and I've got a lot of weight and height on you.
Yeah.
No,
I'm going to
this
show you how
this
to
is
cross
gymnastics arms.
You know, I don't know what I could do. Is that like 11 minutes like fresh? Like you're just like, hey mum, 11 minutes later you're still there? Or is that like,
Where's mum there?
I don't know, that's what I imagine. I'm showing off the mum. I'm just like hanging
Sometimes,
off a tree. That's what I'm
sometimes,
used
like I practice getting to 5:30 now every time,
to. Okay.
just because.
Do you ever do it like freak out friends? Just hang. Like, just hang. It's my mind.
No.
Like, imagine coming into the gym, right? You walk in the
Just
gym.
talking to someone to hang it for 11
And,
minutes.
no, not even talking. Like, I'm just hanging, right? And you're in the class, you're like, oh, okay. And I'm just there, like,
Mate,
Yes,
our gym
no.
would be like, he's just doing it.
Yes.
and I'm still there.
Yes,
Devastated.
you do. You generally see, like, when I used to go to base camp more
Mhm.
often than I do now,
Mm-hmm.
every now and again you just. And you just watch everyone else.
11 minutes. I'm going to try that one as well.
Just see.
I would
see
like
if
to
you-
see
I've
how
called
long.
it, right?
I'd
Straight to the
really,
camera,
I'd
doing it.
really like to see you get past 2.5.
On a, like, fresh dead hang.
So now I'm challenged.
Ooh, 2.5? We can do that today. We've got time.
That's 2.5 dead hang.
2.5 minutes.
I'm
Without
pissed.
the other stuff.
Yeah, sure.
I'm cooked after the plank, right? So
Yeah.
my arms are ready.
The plank kills, well, for me,
Yeah.
kills my shoulders. But I've
Yeah,
got shoulder
yeah.
problems, so.
Okay.
So then after the 5 minute dead hang, minute rest, 5 minutes of skipping. That was the first.
Oh, okay.
That was the first year's test.
Okay.
Do you think I can skip?
Your shoulders be. I was gonna say your shoulders be ruined after that.
You can't even hang on to the rope because your
Yeah.
hands.
Is there a cadence like
Nah, whatever.
step over it?
So the first year, I kid you not. Now I cannot skip to save my life, and
Okay.
they gave me this skipping rope, and I'm like,
Jenny,
You know what I'm gonna do? Just while I talk to that, I'm gonna gift that. It looks like you're
I
whipping
haven't-
Murph.
I have actually since learned how to skip. I had to teach myself.
Wow. Okay.
Because I was so petrified that it would be the same test for the second year.
Yeah.
And then I rocked up and it was different, and I was like, thank God there's no skipping.
Yeah.
But for the second season that I did, I trained
Okay.
over and over that test. Over
Okay.
and over and over and over. Like, I'd do one full test,
Mhm.
have a 10-minute break, do it again. 10-minute break, do it
Mm.
again. So I'd do like an hour of exercise.
Tell me they changed the order completely. It'd be fantastic. That's what
They
happened.
didn't change it completely. The second year was the plank,
Yep.
But it was.
Can you talk about this though?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Can we post it or do we cut it?
I guess you can post it. It doesn't really matter. I won't tell you this year's one.
Okay. All right.
So the second year was a little bit different. They gave allowances to show creativity and your style.
Flamboyancy.
Right? So the first 3 minutes you had to stay still.
Yep.
Then after the 3 minutes you could do anything you wanted for the next 2 minutes. So you could do one arm, 1 foot, or you could jump across the floor.
Yeah. Is that extra points or is it
Extra points and flamboyancy.
Yeah.
Well, they're not really.
Style points.
They're not really.
Spirit fingers.
They want to see what your personality is like and going to be
What if you flipped around to the reverse plank, still with the plank? Are you there?
No, you
Why
had
not?
to stay in the front.
Posterior chain.
Okay, so you still had to stay up for 5 minutes anyway. And then you had a minute rest, and then it was the chin-up burpees again.
Yep.
But for the first 3 minutes, you had to do them strict.
Yep.
And
Don't say you could allow kipping.
no,
Oh, thank God.
no kipping. Even in the first season, like no kipping.
Little hard.
But then after the first 3 minutes, you could then change the chin up to whatever you wanted. So I did.
Could it be a dead hang?
No, you had to do the chin up action. So you could do a.
I'm getting around this stairs somehow.
You could jump up and do like a muscle up or a front lever, rear lever.
But you had to do the pull.
Had to do the pull up. So you still have to do that aspect, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So if you can do like a chin up flat, whatever, for the next 2
That's
minutes.
like extra
I was
effort.
going to say, it's interesting. That's more
Right?
energy.
I'll be going strict.
Exactly.
I'll be going
so
strict.
you have to sort of outweigh
the style for the energy.
Could you come in with like the kind of like a military commander look? Like, I'm gonna do it strict because you know.
Yeah.
Like,
But you have to do a pull up.
Sorry. Okay.
Cheating.
Yeah. Okay.
And then it was the 5 minute dead hang.
Yeah.
But they wanted to see you had to basically last the 3 minutes.
Mhm.
And then from then you had to hang by one hand for at least 10 seconds,
Mhm.
and then swap and hang for 10 seconds.
Mhm.
And if you didn't make that 10 seconds, it was kind of crucial.
Okay.
They needed to see the grip strength was there.
Of course.
And then you could swap and change and do
Could
whatever you wanted.
put your legs up?
I
on
knew
it?
you were going to ask that. I'm going to ask that.
No elbows, no
I'm gonna do
armpits, no elbows, no armpits, nothing.
Okay.
Just hands.
Chin.
You.
Just get the neck. we've just bastardized this entire session.
And then after that they had, and this is what killed everyone. But
My hands are so wet, right? Like seriously, they're so wet.
It is funny to me though too.
Okay.
I actually found
No.
the second year, maybe it was because I was a lot more prepared
Okay.
and I kind of knew what was coming.
Yeah.
I actually didn't find the second year's test hard. at all.
Okay.
Did you make the full 5 hang?
Yes.
You did.
Did you just give them like the 10 seconds, the 10 seconds with
Did-
flex, 10
I
seconds
did,
again?
I did give the 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I did it more than 3 times each arm.
Okay.
And then
Did you act bored when you did it? Like,
it's hard.
Okay. So no, was the
Couldn't
No.
act bored.
You can't act bored. You're too focused, and the biggest thing I focus on now is my breathing.
Yes.
It just helps. And if I shut my eyes, it's even better.
Yep. They were like watching you in a line.
Yes.
Oh,
So it's and basically, so they're all sitting on a panel, and there's like all these bars,
yeah.
and I think there's 8 or 10 in each group doing it at once.
Okay.
You don't want to be that first person to drop.
No.
Yeah, no, hell no.
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 Are you just in randoms in? or like
Random.
Random.
Well,
Okay.
kind of. The bars are at different heights depending
Okay.
on how tall you are.
I was gonna say, like, is it the shorties? And then it's like,
Shorties.
No,
I was gonna say.
you'll put in.
So Murph and I'll be together.
You just put in a group. It's just a random group.
We're doing this.
So then after that, on the second year, it was kind of like a burpee shuttle balance test thing. You had to do, and I always forget which one was first. You had to do, it was 10 meters.
Sprint?
Yeah, 10 meter, 5.
I'm using option for my brain.
I think you ended up having to run 50 meters. Touch,
Okay.
touch.
Yeah.
10 burpees at the end.
In a certain time, or just do it?
Beep.
Okay.
There was a beep. I don't know how long it was. There was a beep.
Okay.
And a balance part, you said?
Yeah, so then there was all of that, and you were like in two lines. So your recovery time was when the other person was doing it. So if they did it really quick, you had to.
Yeah.
You didn't have much time.
So you had to do it within the beep, not at the beep.
Within the beep.
Okay. Alright.
And then when you finish your shuttle runs, you would do burpees while someone else would go.
Okay.
Okay, so you had to finish your 10 burpees by the time that they'd finished their 5 shuttle runs.
If you're paired up with a DK, do you just run faster?
Yeah.
Sweet.
But everyone's on the same wavelength, so you're just trying to be alive.
Is there any competition within people? I mean, obviously on the night it's a competition, but like the getting in part?
Not really.
Not really?
Because we have no control over that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, we don't... To be perfectly honest, within the entire Ninja community...
Someone's tired.
We're not editing that one out.
We're going to put that as a highlight at the bottom.
Hashtag community. Okay.
With it, like, I've never actually experienced a group that gels so well.
Yeah, right.
I've never had a sport that's been like that. Coming from gymnastics where it's very political, it's who you know, what skills you can do, versus ninja and even climbing. I do a lot of bouldering now and a lot of climbing stuff. Those two communities are unbelievable. So supportive. Like, yes, you're competing against one another. But in the same instance, we still want everyone to get to the friggin' end. We want everyone to get past everything. And it's genuine. I've never been in a sport that is like, come on Celeste, come on, you can do it, and then you're yelling for them.
Yeah.
And just because they get further and they might knock you out, we don't care.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you care, but they're doing so well.
Yeah.
So you really want to support that, and that's the best thing about this whole community. It's brought so many people together, and that's amazing. It's the best thing about it. I love it.
It's different from sport.
Different from
Very.
sport. Different
And
from
especially considering it's not a team sport either.
Yeah.
But it's like we are a team, but we're not, but we are.
Is it because you're all at that elite level? Imagine like tennis players, right? All at that elite level. Not tennis is like, yes, you still compete. No,
definitely not, because like the second season saw a lot of new faces and a lot of old faces.
Okay.
The new faces are accepted just as much as the old faces.
Okay.
Yes, we might have a bit tighter bond because we know each other a bit longer.
Yeah.
And we know, how much they've trained and what they're doing. We're still going to accept you. We're still going to cheer you on.
Do you almost help them to train them up, say, start doing this more, you gotta work on this? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Everyone is really, really helpful. Oh, I have trouble doing this, blah, 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 blah. How do I do it? Oh, try it this way. Why don't you try this technique? How about if you try it like this? Everyone is great. Like, there's not one person who would not be supportive.
Is it guided by, this is my question then, is it guided by the show, or is there like a community of, cool, we're going to set up different obstacle courses and we're just going to do it together?
That one.
Is it set up by the second one?
So everyone's got their own obstacle course at home?
Well, probably not at home, but like...
Just
The show has the show has given us a platform to create a group where in Australia we now have a National Ninja League called we've got 3 actually, believe it or not. We've got one called the
You can do this.
It's NCL, but I'm trying to think of what it is, and that's orientated by the people who own the gym in Perth.
Okay.
So that is the Ninja Challenge League.
Got it.
For the Ravi boys.
Put that one. Yep.
So they have Ninja Challenge League, which is probably what I would say is the biggest within Australia.
Can anybody compete?
Yes. So
don't shake your head.
Anyone can compete, permitting you qualify to go. Well, but you can compete in any of those qualifying competitions to qualify for the final.
Okay.
Okay. So the finals are held each year in November over in Perth, and they host. Seriously, last year they held. Well, this year they held the best competition I have ever seen.
How so?
What makes the best
competition?
competition?
Makes the best competition?
It was unbelievable. There was over 200 athletes who were all there for the entire weekend. Everyone trained together. Everyone knew the rules. Everyone rocked up. Everyone, They had people from America come over, from like the Ninja Warrior over there.
Yeah.
The first year they had the national final, they had Drew Dreshel, who is the biggest ninja in the world, or the most known male ninja in the world, who is unbelievable. He came over and competed in the final.
Did he win?
No.
Whoa! Look out, Drew.
No.
Game up, son.
Come on, man.
A guy named Donnie won.
Yeah.
He's a tree lopper.
Okay.
He ended up winning. He was a local from Perth.
Yeah.
But there's these competitions all around Australia where you can qualify for the final.
Okay.
Which is in November. It's great. This year they had fully broadcast, like brought in a TV crew, filmed it professionally. It was like a production out of ESPN. It was unbelievable.
That's awesome.
Like world class what they've done. It was unreal. And from that, and I was lucky enough to be one of these people, we had the opportunity to qualify for the World Ninja Titles, which is in February.
Did you qualify?
I qualified.
Nice.
Congrats.
I'm qualified.
That's awesome.
And that's what I'm raising all the money for, is to get over there.
So, like, where is that? What is that? Tell us about it.
The World Ninja Titles, or Games, or Championships, whatever you want to call them. So I'm guessing there's going to be about 200 to 300 athletes, and they've hired out a stadium like this.
Yeah.
Drew Dreshel's hired out a stadium. He's running it this year, the final.
Of course he is. He needs to get his name back up.
Yeah.
It's
on Drew's turf now.
No,
So it is.
It's in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
It will be live streamed and everything exactly the same. There is, from the picture I saw, they've set up 6 courses side by side.
So we're talking, if it's like this size, so we've got 3 basketball courts on there, you're talking
It might
be
it might be bigger.
Bigger,
The
okay.
arena might be bigger. I'm not sure. It's called the XL Centre.
Okay.
I don't know how big that is.
Okay.
Basketball people will probably know, but I don't.
Yeah.
I'm guessing.
Okay.
I'm guessing it's like an entertainment
And they've
centre.
already set it up.
Well, they would have to be starting to next year, I think.
Okay.
But we've seen like a picture image of what it's supposed to look
Yeah.
like. And I was just like, holy crap, and I'm going to that.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's cool.
But like, you're talking the likes of Jesse Graff, Barclay Stockett, all these names mean nothing to you, but
pretend we don't.
they are like the ultimate of worldwide ninjas.
Wow.
How long has this been going on for? Because this sounds like it's been going on for like 10 years. or
In
something.
America, it's probably been going for maybe 8, I guess.
It's a little while, yeah.
Whereas in Australia, we've only been doing it for 2-3 years.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, so we're still pretty new to it.
Yeah. But in terms of our abilities, because Australia has a very active lifestyle, we do very well. Like last year, Olivia Vivian, who...
She's a climber?
No, she's a gymnast as well.
Gymnast as well?
She won the female section.
The whole lot?
Yep.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
She won that world title last year.
Wow. So where's she based then?
Perth.
And you guys in contact?
Yeah.
So we call them like, I'm on to you this year.
Yeah, I got you. I'm watching you.
It's not like that,
Random
though.
bets. Like,
It's not like that. Everyone's
you should put some more money in. Okay.
Trolling on Facebook. I see you.
I see you
looking
trading.
at my profile.
That's right. Okay.
That's right.
No.
Yeah, okay, so she won.
She won the world title last year.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So that's how good we are
Yeah.
in terms of, yes, we've only been doing it for 3 years, but we're bloody good at what we do.
Okay, then, so my question then is, it's come from Sasuke in Japanese.
Mhm.
Have you invited a Japanese on? Because they've been doing it for years.
Yeah.
And how do they go?
I believe, well, I'm not 100% sure, don't quote me. I have a feeling they placed like maybe 4th or 5th.
Do you like adjust
As
the
a, you're
courses?
talking as a country or as an individual Japanese?
Yeah.
As an individual
Okay.
person.
Because,
there
because
is
the
a
ninja
team.
came from that.
Yep.
That's what it took it from.
So this year there's people who actually went from Australia and competed in Suzuki.
Okay.
There's people who've gone from Australia to compete in UK Ninja Warrior, Singapore Ninja Warrior, like everyone's branching off. It just depends on if you have a passport to be able
Sure.
to do it.
Yeah.
Like I can technically compete in the UK one because I have a UK passport.
Is it classed as work though? That's the thing.
No,
No.
Do you get paid for it?
no.
Okay. So why is it only if you have a passport then?
Because you have to be a resident of that
Citizen.
country to enter.
As in the rules of the ninja.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking like it's like a working visa or something.
No.
Yeah, so-
Okay.
You can, there is, I believe there is a way around doing the US one.
Do you want to really put it on camera?
I don't mind. I believe there is. I know that army people and like military people, if they can basically go, oh, I'm here for 6 months working, they can enter.
Okay.
I think there's something like that. If you've got a working visa, you're classed as a resident, I guess.
Okay.
It would be like that.
And there's no like guest passes?
Mm-mm.
Like, so like basketball here or like...
Not for the American one, no.
Okay.
There may be for other countries. Australia doesn't do it, no.
Okay. Because like America's very protectionist, I'm imagining that's why they're going like that. It's got to be a Trump thing. It's got to be.
Is America the top?
You get used to these comments.
Is America the top of the world in this sport?
Only because they have the facilities.
Okay.
I think there is a lot of potential for Australia to catch up and beat them very, 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 very soon.
Now, when you say Australia, a question I was going to ask before is there like an Australian team?
Yes.
And is there a competition where it's Australia versus the States? It is.
Yes. It has already.
Please tell us more. Can you tell us more?
Again?
It has already been filmed.
It's already, so it's happening. So you can't tell us more just yet.
I'm not 100% sure whether I'm even supposed to know about it,
Oh.
but I do know.
Okay.
You've heard it here first.
There is.
Murph and Mitise, like our first official exclusive.
There is potential for it to be shown here. There is another program in the States only that is aired and shown and filmed called USA versus the World.
Okay, of course.
In the previous.
That's
a Trump thing.
No, it's not.
Yes.
The USA versus the World League or show or whatever you want to call it is generally filmed right after the finals of the American Ninja Warrior final takes place in Las Vegas. They generally film it over 3 days. Last year and even the year before, I think they had 4 teams.
Yeah.
Indonesia, Japan, UK and Brazil. So they had 5 teams altogether. And it was basically furthest fastest. The rules are the same, but you can only have one person from each country get the furthest fastest and then they compete again. You know what I mean? So yes, there is a team one. Mm-hmm. Australia has taken part. When that will air, I don't know.
Yeah. I'm excited.
There you go. Will it ever make the Olympics?
Parkour and ninja now fall under, this is what I was saying before.
So before you go ahead and chat.
Oh,
Parkour,
sorry.
No, it's all on camera. We got it. You'll see it later.
Parkour and ninja, well, Parkour has basically collected ninja under its belt for whatever reason. And as much as the Parkour people hate being associated with it, it's happened. At the moment, there's nothing you can do about it. Parkour, as of last week, now falls under the Federation of International Gymnastics, as in terms of rules, regulations, OH&S, safety, all of that.
So no more jumping up buildings. That's
well, yes,
really
but
that's
they're trying to regulate it as a sport.
Yeah, okay.
Even though parkour and freestyle running and whatever you want to call it.
Come on, regulation around that.
Exactly.
Creativity.
And that's their big
argument.
Art. That's their big argument. Is the fact that it is creativity and it's their way of life. It's not a sport. It's their thing.
Yeah.
I don't know even what to call it, but it's their thing. And there's a big discrepancy over whether it should be in this FIG league, which is what the federation is called. No, FIG. Federation of International Gymnastics, right?
You heard it.
I'm glad you asked because I'm sitting there like.
Thank you.
Okay, so FIG is an abbreviation of that.
Cool.
Yeah.
So parkour now falls under this FIG tree.
Yeah.
Right? So you've got.
Tree,
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
You've got rhythmic gymnastics,
Yes.
trampolining, artistic gymnastics. I think there might be another sort of gymnastics. And now you've got parkour.
As well.
That fall under this
Fig tree.
Right?
This is so good.
Parkour will be showcasing for the very first time at the 2020 Olympics under FIG. So there you go.
Heard it here first.
What?
There
So
you go.
parkour
In Japan. 2020 in Japan. So
I think
questions.
I have a feeling they're going to I don't think it will ever make the Olympics. It's way too hard
I think
to judge.
it's a showcase event.
They're going to do something that is like, you know how they have like experimental sports that they're like, oh, we want this in the Olympics, like they did with downhilling and all that sort of stuff. That's what that's doing.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be judged similar to gymnastics, where it's
style,
like, and difficulty and
difficulty,
all that sort of stuff?
But who's to say how difficult it is? It's
exactly.
it's like, you know what I mean? And that's where the parkour people and the freestyle running people, they have a massive issue, and they don't.
But you can't judge art. It's
exactly.
subjective.
That's what they're saying. It's very subjective, and that's.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, but that's what their argument is, and they don't want any. They don't want this.
Yeah.
They don't want it. But FIG do, and the Olympics do, and it's like, oh, well, too bad, it's already happened.
Don't they have an association to say no? They have a union?
No. Well, not that I know of. Because parkour is massive over in in Europe.
It's huge.
Yeah.
Like, I'm very much on the parkour side. I don't even do it. I might jump off a ledge every now and again, but I don't even do it. But as an artistic...
He will.
I'll do it. I'll jump and I'll like... I don't know, yes, I have the books.
Just randomly spring through the air.
Hey!
It's like an
I'm with the parkour people. I think, like...
I agree, but then in some instances I'm like, oh, maybe it would be good to see it in the Olympics. But then I can understand both sides.
Like, it'll be
it's
good...
very hard.
It'll be good to get it out there more, right, so people can see it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is something that is interesting. It's like, I find it interesting. I find it super awesome to watch. The athleticism is crazy, and then it's almost like kind of underground, right?
Yeah.
But that'll bring it to the forefront.
Yeah.
I get that, and I think that would be fantastic. But then obviously, then you're going from a judging side. If you take it to that
but then
next
it's
level.
the same as like, why don't they have their own sort of league or show for it, like the X Games do?
They don't have that?
No.
Okay.
Is it just like a random thing people like to do in the streets?
Well, no, there's
structured
like, there's like world championships of it and everything.
Oh, there is.
I don't
but
understand.
it's not like syndicated or like filmed or promoted.
It's not filmed.
But almost like the CrossFit Games that we're talking about and the X Games.
Similar,
CrossFit Games. Like Reebok came in, took that, blew that up.
Yeah.
Similar sort of thing.
Yeah. Like it's got its own independent following and it's got its own independent body, I guess. I really don't know that much about it. I just know that now they're classed under this and they're not happy.
Yeah.
I was going to ask a question before. Do you think that, because I mean CrossFit's gone, we don't like CrossFit much, but...
Don't bring me into
Don't
bring me into conversation.
Oh, you both like CrossFit? Okay, we
all
don't like
CrossFit. Doesn't like it.
Okay, we all don't, okay.
There's contextual.
CrossFit has gone massive.
I've taken the even stance.
Huge. Will Ninja Warrior ever get to that level?
We were talking about this before. No, I don't think it will.
No.
Only for the fact of, one, cost, two, facilities and funding within Australia is very, very limited. Worldwide, yes, I think it will progress even further, especially with the... yes, I think... Worldwide, I think Ninja will continue to push the boundaries and it will grow. Within Australia, no. Okay. I don't think it will. Mainly because of funding and mainly because there's not a big enough following yet. Whether that will change by Ninja Warrior being on TV is another thing. Like, we've seen, I don't know, the first season you had 8,000 people apply. The second season you had 18,000 people apply. But out of those 18,000, there was only 250, 300 people who actually got on the show. Okay. So will those other 18,000 people, or will those other 1,700,000 whatever people, will they keep training? That's where you got to sort of go, well, why did they apply in the first place? Yeah. Are they doing it for the right reasons? Like, I've been asked so many times, why do you train so much? I find it fun. I don't do it, yes, I do it for exercise, but the ultimate reason why I train, whether that be aerial, gymnastics, ninja, anything, I do it because it's my way of blowing off steam. Yep. I don't watch TV unless I'm on it.
Imagine if that was everyone's role.
No, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I watch the show that I'm on and maybe the project. I really like the project. And I love Survivor.
That's why we started our own show. We only watch the shows that we're on.
No, but like, you know what I mean? Like, if someone says to me, oh, did you watch The Bachelor last night? No.
Yeah. Not on there yet.
I did actually. I do tell a fib. I did watch the Honey Badger season because it was just hilarious. But then I found these punky videos online and they were even funnier, so I just watched that.
Imagine if the government come in and say, okay, here's a countrywide rule now. You can only watch TV that you're on. Imagine how many people go out and start doing stuff.
Exactly.
Actual shit.
Yeah.
We're going to take a break right now because we're going to get back to this. On that note. Fucking what?
We're all set to go.
How about you start with some of the questions that you want to ask?
I want to finish where we're at. I got some questions. I got some questions.
I think. I don't know much. Where do we go from there?
You go. What is that? That's all. 50 hands. I know I'm getting nervous and sweaty and shit.
Well, the last comment was about what if we made it mandatory that you couldn't watch TV
unless you were on it.
Yeah, unless you were on it.
Well,
a lot of people would be a lot more physically active.
Absolutely, or doing something, even though physically active, doing something with their lives that was more meaningful to them. To
do you want to talk to someone? I feel like you've got like
I got 5 million people in my head. That's another podcast.
We'll hit that one. Else. Let's take it back a little bit. So we were talking about parkour now coming under the fig tree, right?
So Ninja is also part of that parkour banner.
Okay, so Ninja comes under like parkour, or like they're kind of together?
I think they're kind of together.
Okay.
I think.
Let's just say they're together or something. So they're like brother and sister.
Yeah, that.
Same parents.
Similar.
Similar. You get all this hate now from parkour people. We are not siblings.
I know, but it's
so my thoughts were then, when you start saying, okay, well, let's take parkour, showcase the Olympics. Let's say 2024, showcase Ninja at the Olympics, right? Let's say it goes in that regard.
Which I think it will.
Yeah, you're going to have regulations around that.
Yes.
And you're going to have standards around that.
Mm-hmm.
And my head goes straight to like ASADA and drug testing for sport. So how, like, is it apparent? How does it go? Are you tested? Do you need to be? Because the performance enhancers.
You're not tested for the show.
Do you think you should be?
Yes.
You said the show. Are you at all?
No.
So there's no testing whatsoever. There's no governing body of.
No. Just a physical test.
And why do you think there should be then?
I think there should be mainly because I understand it's a TV show and I understand that people are doing it for fun, but I think it should be mandatory that they're trying to make everyone on the same level playing field. How do we know that some of them aren't? Like, it could be dope, it could be something that's recreational. I still don't, I don't do drugs, I've never done drugs, I don't believe in them, they're like a bad thing for me.
Bad thing.
I sound like a little
kid. You're intelligent, right? Got it, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't do drugs, I don't do alcohol, I don't do, yes, I drink, but I'm not an alcoholic. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not...
There's a bigger line there. I don't want to jump the chasm, but there's a bigger line.
No, but I don't want someone doing something that's unsafe. And even if you're on a recreational drug, that could be making it unsafe for you.
So you're more worried about the sport or the person?
The person.
The person.
Yeah.
So they just want to be that good or win that bad, or they're doing things going to put them in harm. That's what you're worried about?
I don't think that anyone within Australia is doing any of that.
But you have suspicions overseas.
You have suspicions overseas,
I don't have suspicions. It would be more so very interesting to see whether someone has taken the forearm pump is amazing. Forearm pump is unreal.
From doing Ninja. Not from drugs, kids.
No, sorry.
It probably might be from drugs too.
Because of all the grip that you because of all the grip that you are required, and I know that a lot of ninjas train a lot, like I do, but the only other way around getting rid of arm pump, other than increasing your cardiovascular ability, is to take a drug that is like a beta blocker that blocks that. What's it called when you get lactic acid? It stops lactic acid. I know climbers take it.
Meaning you can prolong the output.
Exactly.
Grip strength.
Yes.
So I could do a 24-minute hang.
Yeah. Exactly.
You come in the gym and I'm just like...
For a whole
No,
session.
but like, you know what I
I
mean?
just
And
hang
it's,
in there.
if Ninja now falls under this parkour banner that is now FIG, are we going to be drug tested?
Mm-hmm. And you feel they should be, definitely.
I think they should, but only because of that reason. I don't know, I just...
Well, considering that there's money involved in this, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's
So
another
now
thing.
it's got to be, like, there's money involved down there. There's got to be some sort of
There has to be some
making
sort
it
of legal
fair.
thing, yeah.
Or say, no, we're never going to drug test. Do what you want to do?
Everyone does.
So that way everyone knows that there's going to be some cheating.
Yeah.
So everyone can go, okay, I'm not going to do this. Like there's bodybuilding, you
But
got
then they
natural
have all,
and
but then they
whatever.
have all these other rules like men and women compete on the same aspect, which I think is great. But then you think about if we were competing against each other
You would
Should
destroy me.
in some
Game on.
aspects, but then
99%.
what about if something was a reach thing?
Yeah, okay.
Is then that fair?
You probably jump further than I would.
Like you know what I'm saying, and I'm not saying that men and women should be separated. I think it's great that in this particular sport we compete together. Everything is the same.
Yeah.
But if you're going to look at drugs and think, is someone cheating? How come you don't let men and women compete in gymnastics together? How come you don't let men and women compete in running together?
So you say you think they should separate?
No.
So what's your
I
solution
think
to that?
if they're going to test for drugs because we fall under that category, I really want them to look at it like if we fall under the parkour category and therefore we fall under the FIG category, they need to look at other aspects of the show in terms of height, reach, speed, power to weight ratio.
So would you adjust the course? So because I'm taller, it gets further apart?
They do in some instances. Like in the past seasons I've been given a block to stand on because I literally cannot reach something. Okay. So they make it fair in that aspect.
Yep.
I just want them to make it fair in the drug side of things.
Yep.
Does that make sense? Like, I guess
I was gonna say, like, to me it's a para. Like if you can prolong how long you can grip something,
yeah,
which is a primary part of the course or the sport itself, surely they should have that balance.
but I do think
prize money.
Yeah.
I do also think that the fact that if it has the potential of becoming an Olympic sport or something along those lines,
it would have to come under the International Federation.
It would have to come under a federation, and you would have to have normal testing like you do for every other sport.
Does FIG have testing?
Yes.
And so, with being under FIG now, wouldn't that be the natural progression to be?
Well, you'd think so, yes.
Okay.
So at some point in the
I
near
think
future,
men and
they
women should always be competing against one another in this particular sport. It's been like that since the beginning. It needs to stay like that.
Why?
Why not?
No, so you won't. Like, I'm about a foot taller than you.
So? It means I have to work harder.
So you think that not...
Just because
so you've got a point, go with it.
No, I was... You
just got... There's advantages and disadvantages of being short or tall, heavy or small. It doesn't make...
So it always balances out.
It balances out in the long run.
Okay.
But when you're talking in terms of grip strength, it doesn't matter. Like,
it's ratio-wise. Okay.
But if you're talking in terms of grip strength, I technically, according to science and body stuff and whatever, I technically should be able to hang on longer than you. Technically. Only because I'm smaller. I weigh less. But that doesn't mean to say that my muscles are stronger than yours.
Yeah, okay.
And it doesn't mean to say, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of if you're getting to the grand finals at the Olympics, not on the show's different.
Yeah.
But if Ninja became an Olympic sport, you would be drug tested.
Yes.
Whether that would prove any difference as to who gets to the end and who doesn't, I don't think it will. But I think it would make it a lot more even.
I get you.
Because if you did take drugs and it was not a grip enhancer, but like a lactic acid debunker or whatever you want to call it. if you did that, guaranteed you'd be able to hang on longer.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean to say that you wouldn't fall off something that you have to run across.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, you still have the disadvantage of you might slip, you might miscalculate something. It only takes 1 second and you're done.
Yep.
How do you define... Wow, there's so many different branches now.
You've got...
On the fig tree.
The fig tree's just opened up to me. It's just opened up to me. So basically I'm equating what you're saying in regards to, you know, those different aspects balance out. Is like, you know, you're a point guard versus a power forward. You know, or your talks, you know what I mean? Like, you've got the differences within the sport. Okay, I'm on that.
You got different strengths and you got...
Different strengths and weaknesses.
Because of power forward will do what a point guard can do and vice versa.
And vice versa. So that's within that sport. But that's obviously, you know, gender based. So guys play guys, girls play girls. And there's here where you're looking at... Because what I'm thinking is how would you define ninja as a sport?
Well,
because it depends upon...
I do believe that if it did ever go to the Olympics, if it did, they would separate them.
Mm-hmm.
They would.
Separate what? Women.
Men
and women. Because then it would have to go under the fig tree.
Yeah.
You don't have men and women competing in other sports together. They would separate them. Unfortunately, that's just how it would go. Whether people would then enter because of that is another thing.
So, what I'm struggling to understand the difference of what a man would be better at compared to a woman. Can you tell me?
What a man would be better at
or
than
vice
a woman.
versa. So what would a woman be better at than a man, and what would a man be better
Could
at
we
than a
take
man?
it back 1 step from that? Because this is where I was struggling to start with. How do you define ninja as a sport? As in like, okay, you've got grip stuff, you've got running stuff, you've got climbing stuff, whatever. But,
team sport and yeah, okay.
But does it have to have those elements? Like, can an obstacle course just be a whole bunch of blades? Can it then? What's going to happen is that those who've got grip strength can't run across blades are out.
Yeah.
It was on a court. I'm looking at the court. I'm going. Okay, we know there's a 3-point line, there's key, there's base, there's this, whatever. For soccer field, you've got the same thing. You know what the parameters are.
You'd have to ask the people who design the course per night.
Yeah.
Like, so you would have to, the producers of the show, I guess, would be that
But
committee.
if we take, you said
So you're
take the
asking
show,
for
if you said,
consistency?
as in, well, there has to be some type of structure. So if you take the producer of the show out, because we discussed about, you're saying about, you know, the show, if it goes to the Olympics, it's not about the show, it's about the Olympics, right? So then, what are the parameters of that sport that you then have to work within?
I think it would probably be down to a team which is called the ATS team. ATS, I don't know what it stands for, but they design, build, construct that course.
You'd almost have to have like one balance thing and then one grip strength thing, and then it doesn't matter what one it is, it has to have one of each section.
Because only once you can define what, I'm doing like a square because it's a court, but like only once you can define what that structure is or what that base structure is, can you then say who's going to be better at what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's where,
you know, that's where I'm struggling at the moment.
That's where the argument also is for parkour, is that it shouldn't fall under the fig tree.
Mm.
That's the argument itself.
Because they don't want that.
You cannot define it as an actual sport. You can't put rules and regulations on it because it's too individual.
There's no length of time. There's no point scoring.
You can't put them on a standard floor.
Can't put them on a standard floor. There's no standard.
No, there's no standalone base element that you have to have.
Yeah.
It's all individual and separate as to whatever you want to do. So therefore, that's what parkour's argument is that they shouldn't be under that, and therefore ninja shouldn't either.
Mm-hmm.
It depends on where you want it to fit and kind of what side you want to take. I don't take either, but
ninja seems like it's going to be an Olympic sport before parkour would be, because there's still like a rule where you got to go from this end to this end.
Yeah.
And you can't do this, you
can't
do this.
There's
whereas parkour is like
elements.
you can go here to here, but you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
So it sounds like ninja would probably get there first.
I'm equating about the gymnastics. Like parkour to me is like rhythmic gymnastics, with the ribbons and stuff.
it's so different.
No. Bear with me. No, bear with me, right? Whereas like gymnastics, you've got like the horse and you've got the bars and whatever, you've got the actual floor work, right? Which is like you got to show certain elements on this. Whereas rhythmic gymnastics is like okay, you got to show elements, but add your flamboyancy to it. This is where parkour is. It's more of an art form than a.
Yeah, but
that's how I see it.
It's how Josh minds work.
Yes.
But then now in gymnastics, there's not, and this is another discrepancy which is just sort of coming to the forefront in terms of gymnastics again. I know we've been going on about gymnastics.
No, we're going about
it's
whatever.
It's very interesting. I read this article. They had I think it's pronounced Doha World Championships for gymnastics probably a month ago.
Yep.
Simone Biles won floor and beam, and she won everything. She's amazing. She's unreal. But now gymnastics doesn't just have a scoring point out of 10.
Okay.
So you have two values. It's turned more into like ice skating. So you get an artistic value, so how pretty and dancey and how much it matches the music and how well you articulate something. And then you have a skill-based point system, which is great, except for the fact of if your start value of difficulty points, we'll say, is 12 points or 16 points, and your artistic value you get scored out of 10, your start value could be 28.
Yeah.
And then you're deducted from that 28 points all the way down to like, I don't know, 16 or whatever. But if your if your strength is dynamic, tumbling, like Simone Biles and everything, she had, I think it was beam, she fell off the beam twice. Now to fall in beam or in any gymnastics field, that's a full point deduction. That is massive.
Hang on, so full point or
full
point? Full point.
So like 1.0.
Yep.
You will lose 1.0 per
fall. What was it? 4 points, yeah.
Right? If you bend a leg or don't point a toe or you don't make something, it's generally 0.2, 0.3. Okay? So if her start value is 28 and someone else's start value is 24 or 23, we'll say, because their difficulty is only 13 points and hers is 16 points, she's fallen twice. Where is the leeway in terms of this person did it perfect and scored...
Can only get a maximum
of 26, 23.
23, yeah.
Whereas her, even if she falls 3 times, her maximum, she's fallen. Therefore, it's not very good. Which she actually released a statement saying, I didn't perform very well. And everyone was like, oh my God, but you won, blah, 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 blah. She's like, yeah, but I fell. She is understanding the fact that her power and her strength and everything is in this league versus artistic. So yes, she might perform artistically fantastic, but because her difficulty level, and it's amazing to watch her, she is talented.
She's
in
American?
both. Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
She's talented in both aspects. She's an incredible gymnast. But the fact that she's pointed out this scoring loophole is massive. Absolutely.
How is it a loophole? Because isn't it? I don't know why it's a loophole. Because of the fact you are doing something more challenging, you should have that bit of leeway to fail.
But then,
or to
how big do you want to make that leeway?
I guess that's up to you.
Should there not be a capping point?
If someone's I would go if someone trained harder, couldn't they do harder, more difficult?
Yeah, and I agree with that. But that's where you think, okay, but where does those points end?
So, like with most things, I relate it back to that sport.
Of course.
So you know NBA at all?
Yeah.
Yep. So Steph Curry, he's got a license to shoot whenever and wherever he wants. Doesn't matter how many defenders are on him. If he misses, he might hit 5 out of 12 shots for a game. Not a great percentage, but his coach will walk away going, "Great game, Steph. You hit 5 shots."
Yeah.
I don't care about the 7 you missed. You still hit 5 that maybe once the game or whatever. And it's because that he is that good and chooses those difficulty of shots that they allow him to miss those 7 because they know he's going to get 5. So generally he's around about the 40-45% shooter. So 4 to 4.5 shots are going to go in out of 10. That doesn't normally sound great, but because of they're such big shots, they're like, that's cool. We're going to let that go.
They're not regular shots.
Yeah. So bring it back to the gymnastics side of it now. I know to me it just makes sense that because she's got that higher difficulty, she's allowed to fail that little bit more and still look good.
That's the argument that's coming into play. But for an athlete themselves to point that out as a problem,
that's interesting.
That's very interesting. For them to point out the fact of, I've scored 6 extra points because I can do yada yada yada.
So that makes sense.
See, it makes sense initially.
Until
you get to the point where if you're competing on, if you want to make a sport fair, there needs to be a capping point. That's what I'm saying. Is if you're basically you then cannot have a perfect score. Because your perfect score might not match their perfect score. So if I had a routine that was scored out of, 13 points for difficulty and 10 points for artistic versus 16 points for difficulty and 10 points for artistic, if you did it absolutely perfect, you stuck everything, you landed perfectly and you scored 23 points, technically you should be the winner. But this person falls twice and still beats you, how's that fair? If they fall twice, technically they're not perfect. That's where the issues are very, very different.
Because I would say now this person's got to step up to be as good as that person in something. So maybe not what they are good at, but okay, maybe I need to lift my artistic or my difficulty to now match their point.
And I think the capping point has to be genetics then.
Genetics? Because
outside of training, there's a genetic point where I can do more. And
so how would you cap genetics then?
Well, that's what I mean. That's what's really difficult. And this is where I think, taking back to Ninja, what we were discussing before, is that genetics plays a part. There's a certain black and white in that grey area of genetically gifted.
That's why I'm saying if Ninja did ever become an Olympic sport, they would split it and have men versus men league, women league. Whereas I don't think they should. I think they should keep it the same, and that'll never happen.
Not the Olympics, no. That's just the way the Olympics runs.
It's just the way it is.
They're never going to put a female and a male swimmer in the same pool.
That would be pretty cool to see.
Be just definitely interesting to see. Absolutely.
I'm still on the drug testing for the show.
Yeah.
Like I said, that's cash money.
Yeah. That now becomes, it should be done 100%.
100%. Because if I'm just pumping up the forearms,
and
I can get that 24-minute hang, and someone else can't. And you're limited by grip strength and not slipping or whatever.
That's a fake advantage now.
It's a fake advantage.
Yeah.
It's an engineered advantage over and above those who are going to go into it.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter how hard you train,
with integrity.
You're not going to beat
with
drugs.
Integrity, yeah. With integrity.
So now I'm 100%. Absolutely, there's got to be some sort of, I don't know, not the ceiling. There's got to be a rule in place where either, again, yes, there's never going to be drug testing. Do you want? Now it's your call. Or no, we're going to put some drug testing in. At least then you can, if you know there's never going to be drug testing, now you can decide, do I want to go that far? And know that I'm going to be at a disadvantage? Or sorry, do I want to go that far and take drugs and I can now compete? Or I don't want to go that far, I'm okay with the disadvantage. I'm okay with living the healthier life, I guess.
I choose healthy.
Most people will, absolutely.
God, I think this is going I always have questions for you about everything that
This is deep.
This is deep shit. Wow. Okay, where does 2019 see Celeste going? Let's go. That wasn't one of my questions. I just pulled it out good time. Stop flexing, please. Let me feel bad.
Sorry.
At the table. The veins in her arms are killing her.
I'm stretching. It's because it's warm.
I feel like I need a bit of sugar there.
Just pump up. I need some drugs. Just get that pump.
Because it's warm.
What does that 2019 look like for you? At this point in time, what you can talk about?
I'm headed to the States for the World Ninja Games.
That's February, so?
February, around Valentine's weekend-ish. 15, 16, I think.
Yep.
I'm very excited.
As I would be as well.
I'm very, very excited.
Yeah.
Not even to just see the course and what's there, but I want to meet all these ninjas that I've been watching on TV for 5 years. And
wow, okay.
You can full
fangirl.
Fangirl out?
Fangirl.
Do they know who you are as well? Or was it kind of
I think some do.
Yeah.
The ninja community, even from Australia, because we've had some Americans come here and there's a few that have gone overseas before, there's a little bit of mismatch. There's a few, and Instagram's a great tool.
Of course.
Instagram is amazing. A few hashtags and you're in.
Yeah. But, you know the secret hashtag.
Everyone is, and it goes back to the whole community thing before about everyone being supportive. I've messaged a couple of the Americans about some of the obstacles that I've had in previous years that I've fallen off, and I'm just like, how should have I done this?
Yeah.
They'll tell me. And it's like, the community is like that. So if you meet someone online, offline, it doesn't matter. So I'm just so excited about meeting everyone and finding, like, being a sponge and sucking out their information of how to do this and how to do this for my own knowledge. It's not even for any gain. It's for my own gain. It's not for competing. It's not for anything else. It's because I want to know. Mm-hmm. I want to know
your own growth.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I want to have fun. I just love how the ninja stuff for me is fun.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm good at it, and.
Well, you're the world champ, so.
Well, you know.
No, I'm not.
Isn't that the February?
Yeah.
That's the World Championships. Isn't that World Championships?
Yeah.
But you're in them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're pretty good. Where do you think I was going with it?
He's like, excuse me.
Did I say something?
How dare you?
I spoke a different language for a second.
No, I just want to be a sponge and suck out all the information I can about the obstacles they've done that I haven't done yet.
Yeah.
And any sort of, because I think like that and I process information, you know, lean a little bit this way or tilt this way or try tensing these muscles and making your body in this shape, or I work mentally like that. Yeah. That's how I process information, or if I see someone do it, then I can go, oh yeah, I see what you did there, now let me try.
Yeah.
Versus me just rocking up and going, no idea what I'm doing.
Here we go.
How about I just chuck it? And then you've got a 50-50 shot. Whereas mentally, I think if someone tells me how to do it, I have a better chance. I don't know why. You know, like, this is how you do this, do it like that.
That's exciting.
Very cool.
So I'm very excited about that.
And it's Feb?
That's in February. Then probably a break.
Yeah.
Is it like a break where you're still trained 5 times a week for 2 hours at a time?
Yeah, so I've just come off, this is the problem.
We haven't even got into training.
This is the
problem.
problem.
We haven't got into anything. Like,
I
had like 3 minutes.
Sorry. My training regime generally through the year is I do aerial 2 nights a week.
What's aerial?
Circus stuff.
Okay.
Hanging from the ceiling.
The ribbon thing?
The ribbon stuff.
You missed the beginning.
Yeah, my bad.
The ribbon stuff, the rope stuff. I do that twice a week at a specific place for that. And then the other nights a week, there's generally one night of climbing in there. It's generally a Thursday. And then on Tuesday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, if I feel like it, I go out the back, or I go to base camp or someone else's house and muck around out the back on all the ninja stuff. I generally train 5 to 6 nights a week for about 2 to 3 hours a night.
Any weightlifting?
No.
How's that for specificity?
Don't do weights. I hate weights. Don't believe in them. You don't need them. I don't think you need weights to be physically fit.
No, I agree.
But it depends on your chosen sport.
Exactly.
Like if you're going to be a weightlifter, you kind of need weights.
You don't need weights to be physically fit for ninja.
Yeah. I need to be able to twist and turn and go upside down.
You've hurt us a little bit.
Sorry. That's not running off.
A bit of my soul just...
I think, honestly, seriously, I've got a little wrap this up. You can hang out if you want. I'll skip 20 minutes. If you want
we're good.
I was going to say, our next one, we have to do at your house. Alright, we can sit down, we can run through if you're cool with this.
I'll interview you while you're hanging off the bar.
You can interview.
Hold 30 seconds.
30 second hang.
30-second interview.
We'll do it at your house. We'll bring the gear. We'll hook up. We'll do it, and we can talk more about training and everything.
We'll finish off this.
Man, there's so much.
I'll be able to test you.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
More so you, because you think you can do it, and he's a bit humble.
I think I can do most things, right?
I'm more realistic.
Doesn't mean I can. I'll try anything.
He'll just point and laugh at him.
Yeah.
I'll give it a go. Don't worry about that.
We'll do that.
But that's the thing. It's all about giving it a go.
Yeah.
It's all about having fun and actually trying something that you've never done before.
That's right.
And then once you get the bug, you'll be sucked in and you'll just keep going.
It's going to happen. All right. So, thank you all for tuning in.
Thank you.
My God.
Solid
time. And we'll hook up a time.
Yep.
And we'll come to your house and we'll do it. We'll both do it, and we'll have a little chat about training.
We'll have a beer afterwards.
I'm bringing the six pack.
No drugs.
No drugs.
No alcoholic.
I might pump some beta blockers beforehand just so I can get my grip straight.
Yeah.
And no pre-workout.
And no pre. Oh, fuck no, not for me.
Shot of coffee, that's all.
And we're done.
We're good.
Celeste,
Maybe
thank
go
you
to
so
Chocolate
much.
Strush first for a show.
Yeah, done. God. And we'll call it
So
work.
bad.
Celeste, thank you so much.
No
Thank you very much.
Your
It was
time has
very
been
fun.
fantastic. Okay, you weren't using the first part of this.
Yeah, I'm waiting for that. I'm waiting for that.
Thank you guys for tuning in once more. We'll be back with part 2 sometime in the future.
Hanging
Them
on
upside
fast.
down.
Once I've trained a couple times. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Peace.
Cheers. Good
Oh
stuff.
my
I've got a big fat drum, big fat drum. I've got a big fat drum, pounding so bad.